Stand by one. Let's go.
You are about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the Lancescurv Show.
It's been a good week. I've been really deep in thought about a lot of things, and what seems to be in the air more so than ever before, which is always going to be something that we want to focus on, but the whole thing about our relationships, our desire to have good relationships, and all kinds, but mostly the romantic kind, the long term. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. It's like if I had a lightning rod, that's what strikes me the most. To maintain and to have one and to find someone who wants the same thing without the deception. That's the thing, you know. And for those of us who are in relationships, it doesn't mean that we have to stop concerning ourselves with that, because of brothers and sisters who may not have somebody in their life. Well, we need to give them a helping hand or an encouraging word. You know, we don't do it like that anymore. We left our brothers and sisters who don't, or who may not be in a present relationship out in the cold, because back in the day, it was where we said, hey, listen, you know, and there was no shame in this. Like, you know, if you're a young lady and you know the person's qualities and you find a decent young man and you say, listen, young age or whatever age, I always put young in front of it. But, hey, I know somebody who, you know, they're pretty much, you know, on the up and up. They're clean cut. They got stuff going on, whatever. You know, why don't y'all meet? We're going to have a little get-together by our house. Just come on by and just meet each other. And it's referrals. And we need to do that, because now we have the modern-day way of doing things where we have social media and we have, God forbid, Craigslist or just different things and we don't know anything. There's no foot to stand on. There's nowhere to begin. And then now we hear the blowback. When something doesn't work out that we didn't help out if we could, we hear the disaster stories. And, you know, these days it's more risk involved. I mean, you can die from diseases. You can deal with a person who's constructed such a social media presence that it's a lie. They could be a mass murderer. You turn around and your bank account is cleaned out, or they get access to the inner workings of your world, and their credit, your credit, is damaged because you trusted somebody that all they did was come around you just to use you in some kind of way, or they want something from you. If it's not the physical, they want something, your life force. It's always where, you know, look, we all need something. We all work, we all strive, but it seems like nobody wants to give or share or build. You got the bricks, I got the mortar, we got the plans. Let's get in this thing and build. We're so critical of each other also. We're waiting for someone to be perfect. When we, you know, like this package has to be perfect. So what if the dude has 20 extra pounds or 30 extra pounds? Let's go walking. Let's change our diet. And men are so critical of the women that they meet in real life because they don't meet the same so-called shallow standard of that video vixen who is always ready for sex and always got the picture-perfect body and always ready to whip out the knee pads and do all the freaky things. But is that going to comfort you when you lose your mama and you want to hug your woman and say, I just need a hug? Is that going to raise your kids? You know what I mean? We're just looking. I'm not saying anybody here but I'm throwing that out there because there's so many of us that have got caught up in breathing these sick, toxic vapors of what was put out there for us to follow. You look at TV shows like the Housewives of Atlanta, and it gives such a false imagery of what Atlanta is like. And I was just speaking to someone who moved away from there and said, man, that place ain't nowhere like that.
Yeah.
Ain't no jobs up there. Really? Ain't nothing going on. Where are all these people?
That is
imagery. Yeah. Chime in on that anytime. I'm just running my mouth a little bit, starting things out, and I'll get other folks to come on in. But it's crazy. So we need to help folks.
I love this topic.
Speak on it. Speak on it, because I be screaming about this all the time. Speak on it.
Yes, brother Dusty.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody?
All right.
We good.
Good. How are you?
Oh, hey, it's hot in Nashville. I don't know about y'all.
It's hot in Orlando.
It's hot in Jacksonville, bro.
real quick, I got to pick my kids up from swim practice, but I just wanted to. I'm popping in. Unfortunately, I got to pop back out. But I will say this,
no problem.
Me and my wife, we had to go to St. Louis a couple of days ago to handle a family matter on her side. But
yes.
we were talking about the very same thing as far as I don't know if some of y'all know this, but you know, St. Louis is a hard city. As far as when it comes to us, our people, if anybody's been up there on the north side, St. Louis, I mean, hell, I feel like I was in Baltimore. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's got some rough edges, and you know, I'm asking my wife like why is it like this? And you know, she's just like, I mean, what do we got people that would, and she mentioned Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's like, okay, how you got a show called Housewives of Atlanta, but only 2 of the 6 or 8 persons are technically really married? Everybody else is
Exactly.
either a well-kept woman or they got paid, you know, for sleeping with the right person. No offense, but I'm just, I mean, we were just talking about that, and she was like, you know, there was some show, I don't know if it's even still on, called Teen Moms or something. Like, now we're celebrating the young mothers, and you know, in the old days, you know, that was actually frowned upon. You know what I mean? And now it's a badge of honor. And I'm not hating on the young ladies that make, you know, I don't want to say a mistake, but you know, a 15-year-old is not ready to be a mother. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, man. No, sir.
You're not. And if you make the mistake of having unprotected sex, then, I mean, so be it. But my thing is, you know, it's biblical. What's the verse? For lack of knowledge, my people perish.
That's correct.
And whether you're a Christian or not, you know, everybody that has grown and succeeded is people that are seeking knowledge and people that are seeking to do good. So anyway, I could talk on and on and on. Lance knows this, but I got to get off. I got to go pick up my kids, but I'm going to be listening, and I want to wish everybody a good day and have a great week.
Thank you as well.
Same to you.
Thank you so much, brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be listening. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, we're going to get... Yeah, but, like I said, it needs to be in-house. You know, we need healing, and to me, you know, I'm not saying everybody, but the black race especially here in America, we're losing it, man. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be positive, and I am positive, and I'm all about being positive, and I'm all about acknowledging those that are positive, but a lot of us are in denial, and we don't want to speak about the things that are going on, and we don't want to speak about the things that, you know, we need to talk about to keep each other up. And on the relationship tip, we observe things, and we just let things slide. And, of course, it's not like the way it used to be, because you're going to get that answer where people say, hey, it's none of your business or this or that, but we have to become our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper.
Yeah.
And look out. And sometimes you're going to get that answer, you know, but throw it out there, because maybe in the midnight hour, in their deepest meditations, they will think and look within. Not everybody is there just being nosy, but you know when you see something. When you see it, you know exactly what it is when you see it. So with that intuition, why do we hold back from sharing what we need to share with each other to help them in their lives? And like I said, relationships these days is wide open. Like, okay, for example, you can go to a church house. Oh, jump in. This is laid back. We're in the living room right now.
Okay, I was going to say, now, I was in it wasn't a relationship. Relationship was mainly based on sex, but I put my feelings into it, and I still got hurt about it. But the fact when you said, can we share when I'm hurt, Well, the fact of it, I shared with me and this friend girl of mine, we shared, and whatever she was going through with, whatever I was going through with. But it's amazing that when I told her, my business got out there to the whole job, and it made me look bad, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to confide in someone when I don't have no one, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know who to trust but God himself. So me having friends, I have no friends. I have nobody to trust because everybody that I thought that was my friend dogged me out.
Wasn't your friend.
They back on me. Wasn't my friend. I didn't lose my job, but when I gave up my job, I'm going to tell this testimony. When I gave up, because I got to get ready to clock back in, when I tell my testimony, I left my job April of 2015, which I shouldn't have because one of the reasons was I was heartbroken by this certain dude at my job. And then other little things too. So I had a job offer in North Carolina, but because I didn't consult God, it fell through. Because I thought I had the big head because I got CDL. Oh, I can go anywhere in the state and get a job. Okay, it didn't work out that way. I was homeless for almost 2 years. Homeless for 2 years, and the guy that I was supposed to have been in love with did not care about me not once. Okay, so then it got to the point where I couldn't talk to nobody, I couldn't depend on nobody, I couldn't say, so it's okay, you know what, you need a couch to sleep on, here, let me help you out. You know what I'm saying? Until I get on my feet or whatever. But it's like now that God has provided me to come back to my job, and then I done got on my feet, and I'm still gradually growing. Oh, why didn't you call me? Really? Really? You know, so it's to the point now where I don't have nobody to trust but God himself. I don't have no friends. So for me to go through what I'm going through, where I have to keep it inside of me because I don't have nobody to let it out, except for exercise and a punching bag. That's about it. So, I gotta say, I mean, on that note, I don't know what to say about that because, I mean, I have no one to talk to. So what do you say about that issue?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, T-Money.
Come on in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How are you guys? Happy Sunday.
All right.
I got Lance's message.
Nicole?
Yes. I'm good. I was just going to say real quick, and I know you had something to say too, Lance, that
No. You know, I start it all up and I kick back and just keep the ball rolling as it needs to be, you know?
Yeah, but I don't want to cut you off too much because you have some powerful things to say that we want to listen to. So please don't forget what you had to say.
Okay.
I was going to say...
You're just blowing my head up. Go ahead.
No, I'm serious. No, really, I'm serious. And the video that you did that started this off, it was so on point. But you're always so precise and know how to dissect these sort of relationship things. Probably, you know, because of your experience and all those things that you've explained to us before. But I was gonna say, you're welcome. I kind of caught a part of what T Money said about, you know, going through something and confiding in someone that you think that is a friend, and then you know, they may be experiencing the same issues, but they go ahead, they, you know, tell all of your business to people, and then people are looking at you sideways, and then you feel like you can't trust people. And the thing I was going to say to that is that I've experienced something similar to that, and before. And the thing about it is, what I was just going to say is that I wouldn't look at that as something that is a negative situation, because really and truly that just exposed to you what you needed to know, and things are going to get better for you. And that negative situation when you were down is just an opportunity for you to not be around, you know, for the people that don't mean you any good to be removed. So I wouldn't see that as a negative. You know, people pretend well. In time, they will expose themselves. One thing I've learned in life is when people show me who they are, I believe them the first time. I pay attention to energy. I don't listen to just what people say. I listen to what they don't say. I listen to what they're trying to tell me. Are they trying to get information out of me? I trust my own feelings, not what the consensus of the group feels. Because me as an individual is what's most important to me. We are all living separate existences. And just because one person might be trustworthy and kind to one, that doesn't mean that that's how they feel about you.
Right.
So, I would just say that, I have experience dealing with a situation or different things where you feel as though you can't, confide in people and, you may be on your own. That is a blessing. You see, life, to really be successful in life and to have a great life is not really about dependence. You really need two things, independence and interdependence. And you can only establish interdependence with people that mean you well. But the whole independence factor is going to give you clarity, and that situation was really just orchestrated for you to learn to depend on God or whatever source that you feel is supposed to fill you up. We spend too much of our time trying to be in touch too much with other people, and we never discover who we truly are. I have learned from experiences like that, and I can really relate to you about being isolated and just where people can't relate to you. You have to learn to put your trust in God and Him alone. And He will direct your path if you acknowledge Him in all of your ways. So that's all that I wanted to say to that. And the last thing I wanted to say is, also, what I found too is sometimes people that do not know you can be the most helpful to you. So if you really do feel as though you need someone that you can bounce your ideas off of, or someone that can counsel you, I would look into getting a life coach.
Yeah, I was told that too.
Pay for something like that. People tend to have a stigma towards, I would say maybe not a therapist, but you know what I'm trying to say. You always need someone to kind of guide you. Sometimes it's best when they do not know you, because their advice is going to be unbiased and they've dealt with these sorts of things. And you can really establish the trust and open up with them. So that's all I want to say.
Correct. That is correct. I appreciate you telling me that.
But go ahead, Lance.
No. You pretty much, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it was excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. This is a preparation for all things new. I just find that we have to step out on faith when we're looking out into the so-called unknown. When I say the unknown, we know there's certain staples in our job, like if you're at work or, you have your home or your private space, the things that you know are there. But when we look at the world through, when we compare to the older times, we say, well, we had a lot of friends back then, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. It may not have to be that way now. And look at those friends from 20 years ago. Where are they now? Right? Some may still be around. New people may be around. There may be nobody around. But throughout all of that, like I always say, you are the only person who's going to spend every second of your life with you. You are the only person who's going to look out for your best interest. I mean, as long as you're mentally healthy and you're not suicidal. And you are the only person to love you all the time. So why not get into yourself? Yes, we want the external, but you know what? It's better to get into yourself and make yourself better, make your light shine better, because when you meet that one, you'll be a better version of yourself. And I'm not saying anyone here in the line, but I'm going to say it like this. But we're so worried about the people from the past. They're not around, or they show themselves. So don't let them have any space in that particular part of your life that is called the future. If we're sitting here looking back at the past so much, And this would do this. No, you have to learn from that, and it's still going to sting. And you got to meditate. You got to get that out your system. Yes, but there's a new future coming for you, because let me tell you something. I'll give you years. I'll say around 2002, 2003, 2004. 2004, I had a breakdown. I don't know if I can call it a nervous breakdown, but I remember it was August of 2004. And I got a call from my job at the time to come in for some overtime. And I started crying. I started shedding tears.
Oh, wow.
And I told them, I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong, I'm tired. But they knew what I was going through at home at the time in that particular marriage. Right? So they told me, and they were close, a lot of them were close. They said, listen, we understand. We're going to give you 30 days off. If you need more than that, you can have it. Rest yourself, get away. We know what you're going through. And reach out to a few of us later on during the week. We got you on the paperwork. And I was out of it. And I had to do some deep soul searching at that time. When I went back to work after the 30 days were over, I still felt like I was beat down. And I made some drastic changes for those next few months. And I walked into the unknown. I didn't know what I was walking into, right? But the unknown will one day be known. Everything that you ever, and I don't want to use the word fear, because fear is not from God. Fear is from the negative forces, Satan himself. But whatever you feel fear or apprehension toward that future that you didn't know back in the past, well, guess what? You know all about it now. So everything coming to you that may be something where, oh, wow, I don't know if I'm going to do this, or I don't know how this is going to work out. Dive yourself into it in a wise manner. Sure-footed now, not foolishly, but go into it. And everything right now in your life, you have to make it come up to the standard where you are. You can't take anything below par. Sure, a person can be a little overweight. A person can have a little knock on their credit. A person can have this or that. But you're not accepting. This is no charity. You're loving your essence, your womanhood, your being, the space that you hold right now at this particular time. People say it, but I'm going to say it like this. Where you stand and the space your physical body takes up, nobody has your perspective right now. Nobody has your view right now. You're so unique. You're not giving that up to give it away to nobody else. Don't sell yourself short. You are very unique in how you are made. You have a heck of a trajectory behind you. The amount of years that we've been living in this world, that's how many years we have behind us to power us with wisdom and experience. There's pretty much nothing that you haven't experienced. There may be things that you never wanted to and may not gravitate toward, but from other people's experiences, what you hear out in the world, what you've seen, you pretty much have an idea of what's going on out here. You are experienced. The amount of time I've been in this earth, and I'm not asking nobody for their ages. People know I'm 54 years old. I'll use myself as an example. For an example, if I had to go into another world, when I move and go into the afterlife, if I was to go right now, my resume say, this brother got 54 years of experience in some of the roughest terrains that his world had to bring. I live okay, but with the spiritual warfare and these demons running around here and the negativity, it's beautiful too, because I'm about to go, while I'm on the phone here, and peel off all my clothes and lay in the backyard and look at the sun and talk with y'all. Too much information. So I know how to balance out my existence. But you have so much experience behind you. You are qualified, and you're not going to accept anything that's subpar or deceptive. And anybody that comes around you in your life, and this is for everybody, as soon as there's some form of deception that you know is venomous, you cut them. These jobs have no problem firing people. You give them the pink slip.
Yep, that's right.
Because your wages are better than most. See? I'm not saying you are a job. I'm saying what you have to give back, the benefits of you, look, that's heaven on earth. Don't treat it like,
right.
oh, I'm just glad to have you here and, come on into my space. Or yes, we all sometimes feel lonely a little bit. We're humans.
Yeah.
But we're never alone.
Correct.
And sometimes it's good to feel a little lonely. Just the way it's good sometimes. When you drink that prune juice or eat them greens and you run to the restroom. Get out all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
feeling
right.
lonely and being a little bored, you can regenerate.
Yeah.
Because we live in a sick world, and if we have sickness in the atmosphere, we out here breathing it.
Exactly.
The kind of job I do. People come one after the other with their attitudes, with their idiosyncrasies, thinking that, oh, you the bus driver, so you making $1 million, and I can't wait for my phone to ring, and it ain't ringing to get no job, so you got it all. And they don't even realize what we have to go through.
Yep.
And there's a resentment there. And we also have to understand what is it in these relationships, potential relationships, whether you're in one or not, how does that person view you? How do they see you? Are they looking at you long term? Or are they looking at you as a night or a week or two of pleasure? Are they looking at you as a bank? Are they looking at you as merely a comfort zone? And when the sky clears and the storms are over, you can't find them. How do they view you? And they're not going to tell you when they're deceptive. You're going to give them an out by asking, how do you feel about me? No, observe them. Let them show you how they feel. And if you start to see 2, 4, 6, 8, baby doll, 10's coming. That 2, 4, 6, 8 might be going in a direction that's not too kosher. So before they get to 10, pink slip. You have enough intuition. You don't have to wait for it to happen. Just like when you drive a vehicle, you can see. Yes, trust in that. And instead of complaining, I'm not saying anybody here is. This is just a general thing. For those who listen in the future, instead of complaining about being lonely, turn around and take that blade of intuition and sharpen that bad boy.
Okay.
Because you know what? There are a lot of people, men and women, who are out here who are not lonely, but they're in a situation that's full of hell. And they wish they had the luxury of being lonely. Because now they got to deal with somebody else's toxicity, somebody else's issues. That when they met the person was perfect. They were in the club with that nice-looking outfit. Might have been their only outfit, but you didn't know that. Shaking car keys, and they put it down in the bar, and you say, oh, look at that. That's a Jaguar insignia on it. And it was a Jaguar, but it didn't tell you it was their cousin who came in to visit them. And the cousin is at home calling them on the phone, man, where are you? You said you was just going to go to the store real quick. And that nigga took that Jaguar and went to the club. With his cousin's money. Buying you drinks. So you don't know what's out here.
Exactly.
Observe it, watch it, and use your intuition. So the quiet time you have, use it. Use it. I'm resting myself.
I use it faithfully.
Yes, you have to.
Let me blow your mind real quick.
Jump in.
I heard something that happened today. Shout out to the YouTube blogger, the Young Turks. If y'all ever heard them, they do the controversial news.
Yes.
They did a segment this morning. I was hollering, y'all, about STD. So, and I'm trying to say, you know, there's no chase with the bed. So y'all pray my scream. I got to say it. But do you know they were saying that now people that are doing oral sex, they're saying that gonorrhea is spreading like wildfire now. And what? Antibiotics, yes, girl, look it up. And they said that the antibiotics that normally fights off gonorrhea is starting to weaken. So they're trying to find stronger antibiotics to be able to cure gonorrhea.
Wow. It's good to be single. It's good to be single.
and they said, I'm serious. Look this up. That's why I give out the name, because everything I say, you got to Google it, because I ain't going to be sued, because I ain't got no money to do it. So, they say because, well, I used to work in the health field, so I know anything in your mouth, what you don't clean, it says dormant. But they're trying to say, okay, if you do oral sex, you know how back in the day they used to say, okay, you switch with Listerine, that'll kill it.
Yeah.
They're saying now, even overseas, they didn't want to give the stats because some of those countries overseas are poor. So they don't want to scare people off about going to their cities. And, people have sex all over the world and stuff like that. But my thing is scaring me. Oral sex and gonorrhea spreading like that, and y'all ain't got no medicine to cure it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, let me tell you something. The only other alternative to oral sex is oral sex, meaning that you better put that radio and listen to some music on some AURAL sex. Listen to some music orally in your ears.
Okay.
Just wordplay.
And then they're talking about something. We've had this fight for the longest time about AIDS, even with relationships. Now they're saying that in the next 20, 30 years, there's a possibility that marriage is going to become taboo because a lot of people, are scared to commit. And that's the main thing. Fear brings on cheating. Fear brings on a lot of layers to loving relationships, which is not normal. Everybody want to live this normal. I'm going to say that.
Right.
I believe in monogamy, 100%. But I believe two people have to be on one accord of what you want. And if you are coming into the relationship living a lie or starting off a lie, you're already going down the road of the destructive path. And then you're lying to that person because the thing about it is nobody wants to be honest about who they are when they come into a relationship. And that's why now when you're seeing people in divorce courts and they even on TV, they all crazy. And now cheating is getting, I was telling my husband, I said people can't even cheat no more. It's getting dangerous. And if y'all don't look at TV one, where For My Man, For My Woman, Fatal Attraction.
Oh yes, that's my show.
Girl, okay, y'all watch that record TV now. I'm very, very, very nosy. I got to have an open mind on why people do what they do. And these shows, thank God for these shows because of the fact that you think, okay, if you hear it in the street, your friend comes to you and say, like, okay, for example, Brother Lance, say for instance one of your guy friends comes to you and say, man, this big booty girl, she looking all fine, man. Man, I'm about to bust her in the toe. And then hypothetically, you be like, well, why you want to bust her in the toe? Well, man, she was eyeball the bell, man, as we were walking down on the beach. And I'm about to bust him in the nose, too. So y'all laugh, y'all chopped up, right? Like, come on, man, don't even do all that. But really, in actuality, he's telling you the truth. That's what he feels like. I thought we was monogamous. But if you got a wandering eye, that's a dead giveaway. You know what I'm saying? So, and you see the same one. Brother Lance got it now. He thinking everything cool. He give him that. He chop it up like he chopped it up to us. And then you turn on Snap. Your friend on Snap. He done killed the mailman. He done killed the cat, the dog, the wife, the big booty. He done chopped up the next door, calling 911.
For real.
And now everybody like on TV, oh my God, how did this happen? Because the man believes in monogamy. In his way, he just been crazy about love. He didn't be rational about it. Okay, man. Like I'm pretty sure Brother Land probably told him, okay, well, you know what? There's other girls running around here, man. Don't worry about her. But when you're stuck on that one, love is a drug, man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I just have to laugh at it. It's crazy. But when I heard back on Young Turk, when they were talking about that oral sex, because people feel like, okay, if I'll let you insert, oral sex that's not cheating. Cheating is cheating, to me. Exactly. And if you haven't gonorrhea like that, okay, now we need to just shut all this down. Y'all need to regroup, get your medicines up. Bottom line, y'all just, no, I don't even want you touching me. You want some of my soda? Hell no, I don't want your soda. I don't even know you got gonorrhea.
Right?
That's what I be thinking. That's all I got to say real quick.
Wow. We done went there.
My mind. It freaked my mind. It did. Y'all think, man, I be looking up stuff all day. And when I just seen it, I was like, what? Oral sex and gonorrhea, like that don't even go. It does, but you don't hear about it every day. But it's just another wake up call to everybody that when you're going out here and you get with somebody, a big booty and a smile or just big pecs, it ain't everything. You got to really check that person, because if you don't know who you're dating and you lay down with that person, you don't know who they slept with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, y'all, but Brother Lance, what you think about how the direction in love and relationships in the next couple of years? The whole room, what do y'all think about it? What's your intake?
Everybody get quiet here. That's like you take that good bite and you eat and you chew like, this feels good. I'm going to be quiet for a second.
This is serious stuff.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Nicole.
How are you?
Hi, everybody.
As always, it is an honor and a privilege to talk with you all.
Oh, wow. The energy just shot up.
That's just said that.
Oh, it's Terrence. Crystal's husband.
Oh, hi, Terrence. How are you?
Well,
I'm good.
We got another mail in the room.
Yeah, right. We got to get Terrence with some sound bites. He has that radio voice.
Yes. He does.
Yes, he does. Got to give credit where credit's due.
He sounds like he needs to be on WDAS.
Oh, wow.
That's high praise. I received that. Bless you.
But, right now, unfortunately, we're talking about the radio station WSTD.
I don't know if Terrence wants to be on that.
KID, WAID, catch it all.
Catch it all.
Y'all is so wrong.
Wow.
I try to keep my black people safe. So if I hear it in the streets during my travels, okay, he just got to spread the word. I'm sorry.
Gabriel, he is going to be speaking about his life.
Okay, we had a person that had to mute here because they had the I had to mute that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So I was just I said, Sister Peaches, if I hear something that keep my black people safe, I got to spread the news. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep us safe. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Of course. That's survival. Everybody else does it. And the times when we're supposed to... Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Sorry.
No. I ain't need to cut y'all. I'm hearing some echo. No, what I was saying was my question before everybody came in, and this is to the whole room, about what do you think about the direction in love and relationships and commitment in the next couple of years? Basically, what you think may happen? Do you think marriage may still occur? Do you think there'll be more divorces? I mean, I really would love your intake just to see what everybody think about that.
It's rather interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Lance.
Oh, no, I just want to say real quick, I think that there'll be many disasters, and it'll force people who believe in marriage to cling tighter together. So there'll be stronger marriages for those who get it and want it, and for those who want to chase the world and front and put up a front, but they really just want to be wild. They'll never say that to themselves, but they just want to be out there. There'll be more personal disasters on those fake relationships, those shallow unions out there. Look, whatever's bolted down, whatever's ready for the hurricane will last. Whatever's not, we're going to see who's been doing their work. And like I said, I didn't say to be negative as far as more disasters. I just see that there are a lot of people out here who don't have a clue, don't want to take care of themselves from within and prepare themselves, and or even realize that they even want a real relationship. It's not hard. It's challenging in this world if you don't have yourself together. It's the easiest thing in the world when you have yourself together, when you want that person, when you're with that person, to hold it down. Yes, you still have other things to deal with, but as far as like, I'm tempted to be with 10 other people, and I don't know if I want to be with this person because I saw somebody that looked better on TV, or they're on my Facebook now, then you're doomed. You're doomed. See, if you're single and you know that this is what you want, didn't find anybody yet, you'll be okay. But these people out here who like I said, they're putting up a front, but they're really about other things. When the hurricane comes to test you, it's going to blow you away. That's just it. For those who are in it and want to maintain it, and those who seek that and want that, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. I got more to say, but I'll yeah, go ahead.
I definitely agree with you, Lance. And you know, like Terrence and I are sitting here. We're 16 years in terms of knowing, and in between that 16-year time frame, we each had a marriage apiece, and those marriages yielded one child apiece, and we ended up finding our way back to each other. But there were lessons and things that we had to learn in between, because I was 18 and he was 23. We both were in college, and had we gotten together then, you know, I don't think that we would have had the experiences that we had in order to say, this is what I'm going to put up with, this is what I'm not going to put up with, this is what I'm welcoming into my life, this is what I'm not going to welcome into my life. And like you guys said, it's some friends, it's some family members, it's some co-workers, it's a whole lot of people had to get cut out the program.
Exactly.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's a messed up situation, because for the folks, I mean, well, first off, just so that there is total, like, I'm in total agreement with what Lance said. Let me confirm some things. The divorce rate as of now is officially 75%. Jeez, it's almost 80%. Wow. So, and this was like last week or something like that when I last looked at it. And it proved one thing. Back in the day when we were all younger, I'm sure there are no like 16 or whatever year olds, and we're pretty much all old, or older, whatever.
What season do you have?
We're veterans. We're Wally veterans. But back in the day, it used to be that you would see these horrific shotgun weddings, and they'd be it would be the Hollywood stars, where you see they get married, and like an hour later they'd be divorced, or 2 weeks later they'd be divorced, or a month, and it was the divorce rate was legendary. Like it was so high, it was legendary. I think one divorce lasted like 5 minutes in the Hollywood world. That's what we. That's yes, exactly. It was like 72 hours. It was 72 hours. Well, that was one, but it was one. It literally lasted an hour. I forgot who it was, but it lasted 1 or 2 hours, and then they were divorced.
Was it Britney Spears that did it?
I think it might have been. I think it was, but it lasted literally 1 to 2 hours. I kid you not.
They had a lot of.
Was it Kim Kardashian?
No, I think
hers was 72 hours.
Hers was 72 hours. This one might have been way back when.
Might have been. But they talked about got a divorce, I think.
The parents stepped in and did some stuff.
But it was back then. It was way back. But it was like 1 or 2 hours. And it was at that period that I realized, man, they don't pay to be in Hollywood. Man, they suck. It's just what it is. You know,
yeah.
And but it painted a picture back then of what you thought a marriage should be. Now, mind you, the marriage rate back then for the regular folk that understood what it was, I think at that point it might have been like 30 or 40%. It was somewhere back in there, it was like 30 to 40%. You had a chance back then. You know what I'm saying? But as time progressed, you started to see that everybody started to just, when Hollywood started to be what was really in, you started to see this massive exodus towards everybody thinking like
marriage, commitment.
Exactly. Like like everyone in Hollywood had it right. Now, mind you, back then, this was back when was it Whitney and Bobby? Well, they were like the longest back then.
Yeah, but Bobby and Whitney stuck it out. And that's a different mindset too, babe. Because back then, I think we all grew up in a time where it's like a lot of the people that we saw that were married, they were married, like locked in the pocket, married,
like hardcore married.
Yeah, but what we saw on TV and stuff like that, it was like, oh well, I think it put in people's minds, well, if you're not happy with what you got and something else better comes along, you can just divorce what you have. Or you hit a rough patch and it's no longer where like the older women in the community would sit down and say, okay, well, this young lady's having some problems in her marriage, let's talk to her. This brother's going away with direction, let's talk to him. There's no village anymore like that.
Nope, them days are over.
No, It's no village anymore like that.
That was done by design. Oh, that was. And
so now it's like with the introduction of like where our kids are seeing now, marriage, you can marry anything but an animal now, right now. So I think for the men and the women that believe in marriage and believe in a union, it's kind of hard to believe in something when the value is diminishing with every passing minute. It's like, okay, Lance and Mrs. SCURV are married, but John and Jim can get married too. And so John and Jim want the same rights as Lance and Mrs. SCURV or you and myself. And it's like, we're married and we're trying to do things the right way, and that's not knocking people that are in same gender relationships, but I think that everybody should have a lane and everybody should stay in their particular lane in terms of if this is the lifestyle that you want to live, that's fine. There's somebody that's in this world that's going to agree with that lifestyle and want to live that lifestyle with you, but when it comes to being upheld in the eyes of God in terms of an institution, God didn't put Adam and Steve together. And God didn't put Eve and Evelyn together. He put Adam and Eve. And so when you have people that are outside of that realm, but they want the same rights, it's like me sitting here saying I should be entitled to white privilege. And I'm black. And it don't even, it's something that I'm never going to get to experience in my life. It's something I'll never be acknowledged as or recognized as. And I think that it's interesting how people pick and choose what rights and what laws fit whatever cause they want for it to fit. And I believe that had that particular situation been looked at that way, maybe we would have had a different outcome in terms of that, because, marriage is an institution. It's also a business. You have to be smart about who you're getting into a marriage union with. You have to be compatible. You have to be on the same page. And a lot of times that's not what's happening now.
No, you want to know? I will disagree with you in one respect. Yeah, it is a union, a sacred one. But it is less a business, more so than it is a responsibility. Here's the thing. If I'm marrying you, I'm responsible for a number of things. Just like you're responsible for a number of things. I had to learn this the hard way. For all the folks that don't have it together.
Speak on it.
I'm gonna put myself out there in a negative light before I put anyone else out there. So let me be upfront. If you don't have your credit together, you probably should not get married, because your credit will drag your spouse's credit to the toilet. If you don't have a good job, you probably should not get married. But I mean, there's just a little thing. You have a responsibility
to self first.
Exactly. You have a responsibility to make sure your game is right before you call yourself intertwining your respective souls together, because your game will literally drag the next person's game down. Both you and your spouse's game literally needs to be A1, because truth be told, once you cleave, it's all one game. So the last thing you need is your A game and your spouse's. Well, let me not be nasty. Let's think about it. Let's think about it in terms of our presidency. The last president we had, we keeping the color out. We keeping all the nonsense out. We're gonna be above board. The last president graduated summa cum laude. He was very, very good. Race, all that out the picture. Our worst president graduated from, I think it was Yale, with a C or a D. All right? Mind you, he got a C and and you know who he is. But he's recent before our last one now. We're not going to put no names out there. But stop. It was the old one, too. It wasn't the new one. It was the old one. We're going to stop now. So mind you, we had a D or C president who dragged our economy to the literal toilet. And he lasted 8 years, mind you. So now, fast forward, we had to get a president who had his A game together to come in and try and elevate us to where we kind of sort of are now.
But his A game couldn't really shine because he still was cleaning up C and D mess.
Exactly.
And still getting blamed for it.
All right. Thank you. And still getting blamed for it. The point of the matter is, if we would have had our A game from the very beginning, we would have been okay. But it wasn't the case. Think about it. Before that, we had a president who was white, but we call him black. He was just too hip. But the point of the matter is, he had his A game, and you could tell because the economy. While he had his crap with him, the economy was pretty good. It was decent. We're not going to say it was all that.
He's not here in office, and we gave him a pass.
We gave him a pass. Look, we gave him a pass.
Hell, they all did it.
Hello?
Right.
Only some get caught. There you go.
Some get caught. But the point of the matter is, we talking about...
Why not?
How about that?
All right.
Why not? But you figure, regardless of his personal nonsense, the economy and the way the country was ran, A game. You could tell it. All right? So fast forward, you'd figure every person would have their A game together. That wasn't the case. Why would you step into a presidency when you know you graduated from college with a C? Maybe you should have been flipping burgers. But hey, you became the president. It's the same deal in a marriage. You have to have your game together.
And I think especially if you're in number two, because this is number two for both of us. And when I tell you, had I known the things that I know now going into my first one, because I got married when I was 19 going into 20. So my first one was 11 years older than me, and he caught me young and naive. But I think that, and I understand, you get married. I wanted to be a one and done. I didn't want to be divorced, and I didn't want to have 3 and 4 and 5 kids dragging behind me. I didn't want that life, but that's not what God had for me. That situation only happened so that my daughter could come forth because she has a purpose and she has a reason for being here. But that's why we had to cross paths. But had I gone into my second marriage making the same mistakes as my first marriage, then, I think by the time you get to number 2, it's time to reevaluate self. You have to reevaluate self.
Yeah. Truth be told, my thing is, and yes, you are right. After the first one, you really should have thought your position. If you screw up the second one, you probably shouldn't be getting married after that one. Just be single. It's over.
What about that third time? Number 3.
Well, here's my thing. By your third time, you should already be polished. Like, if you're going to screw up in your third time, you need to make sure your screw-ups are literally one and done. Because after your third one, you could just be castrated. I'm sorry. It's just the end of it.
Even in baseball, you get 3 strikes. After that, it's time to sit down somewhere.
Yeah, indeed. Take a chill pill. Jesus.
She said, sit down. Go ahead now. Y'all going to make me run in the flow. She said,
sit down. Sit down somewhere.
Indeed.
Sit down.
Indeed. But that's basically all I was on. Like, you got to be responsible with your stuff. Like,
it just makes sense because, like, when I hear people, they on their 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th marriage, at some point you got to stop and think, what the hell is wrong with this person that they can't stay married?
Oh, man.
And marriage is not for everybody. It really is not. If you just want to play the field and you like to be selfish and everything has to be your way all the time, you are not a prime candidate for marriage. You're a prime candidate for being single for as long as however you need to be. But if you are looking to build with someone, not use a person, not leech off of them, but if you're looking to build with someone and they better you where you're weak and you better them where they're weak, and the two of you come together and build this unpenetrable force that only you and God and that person is in, because when the universe sees that coming together, it's going to throw all kind of fiery darts at you. People that you've known for years and years going to start, that mask is going to come off, and it's going to be like, who the hell is this?
Now, mind you, wait, it gets better. Now, wait a minute now. It gets better now. Here's the thing. Everybody on this line, and hopefully everybody that's going to end up listening that has some common sense about them, maybe they may not be heavily, rooted in the whole spiritual thing, but they have some common sense. Now, here's the thing. Once you know a thing, it's kind of hard to unknow it. My wife is keen on that statement, so it's serious. And now this is just for the folks that are on the line and the folks with some sense that are listening. Once you are keen, especially if you're married, if you're in your marriage and you have some sense and you know you got a good thing and you're really about fighting to keep it, this information is for you. As I live and breathe, when I was younger, I had a teacher who shall remain nameless. When I was in my lessons, we had some conversations. All right, I overheard some things. He was in his 6th marriage, about to leave that, and he's moving on to his 7th marriage. What that tells me is that there is absolutely, well, I'm not going to say no value, but there's a lack of concern for what a marriage is supposed to be. What's going to end up happening to him? I don't know, because the last time I checked in the Bible, I'm not sure. I'm a little rusty, but it says
I got you. Go in.
I'm a little rusty on this aspect, and I'm not trying to be a holy roller, but last time I checked, you can get married, but if you're divorced and you were the one at fault, I think it said in his word, you are not able to marry again unless the fires of hell consume you. Last time I checked.
Because you're married in adultery. Yep, because they're still committing adultery.
So I'm not trying to screw up the word now, but if that's what it is, and you're at fault, and now I don't know what situation, but if you're on number 7, something tell me it's not the girl that messed up. It's you, and you on number 7. So where are we at with this? Where are you going? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're in a marriage, just have some love for God's union. Have some love for it.
Have love for God's union, and don't run at the first sign of trouble. Yeah. Marriage is not going to be a cakewalk. You got 2 different lives, 2 different upbringings, 2 different. I keep saying every time, like when I talk to Lance, like, my husband and I found you when we needed. Like, y'all understand, we're both growing at 34 and 39 years old, and we're getting lessons from other people that God has blessed us with that we didn't get from our parents and in our upbringing, okay? And these are the same people that actually rose up against us in our union, And when you got to look at mama and say, you want to know what? I love you and all, but my allegiance is to my husband. And if you can't hop on this train, you're going to get left behind, because my husband hasn't steered me wrong. My husband hasn't dropped the ball on me. My husband actually came into my life and stepped in. God put him where he needed to be. So if you're not about the business of being happy for a person, when you see that good is happening in their life,
then you need to be removed and you need to be put on the side so that God can work on you, because I can't allow you to come in and infiltrate what he's put together here. And that's hard. That's hard, especially when it's a parent.
That's hard.
It's hard.
Now, wait a minute. See, here's the thing now. Yeah, it's hard. Now, from my guys who are sitting there and you're actually about it, but the role was a little too heavy for you, like, my only thing is, because I almost fell into that. Like, for me, it was a situation where I was strong enough to handle it. I was cool, but my place in terms of my ability to handle everything financially was pretty good, but not at the level I wanted. So, like, it became a situation where, for me, I can only speak for me. I can't speak for any other man. I can't, so I won't. I'll speak for me. For me, it was a situation where I literally had to get out of my comfort zone, because my relationship with God is a little different from everybody else's. I was of the mindset to handle everything myself, come to God sparingly, because I don't believe in harassing the dude. I mean, he's what is he, Alpha, the Omega. Like, you know, at a certain point, you know, I went to church. We all heard I'm not going to call it nonsense, because people believe in this. I'm sorry. I got to be careful, you know, because YouTube will cut this whole thing off.
Speak freely, man. Speak freely. We understand you.
But I'll call it this. We all heard the rhetoric. I can do that. That's clean. We all heard the rhetoric, you know, about holding fast to him and bringing every single solitary care and concern to him, putting all of your burdens on him, because he is what he is. He's God. He is literally the creator of all things, which he is. That I'll give him. He is literally the author and the finisher. All that. We've heard all that. Now, here was my train of thought. I'm thinking, wait a minute. There's some, just on this planet, mind you, there are some, almost 100 billion? I don't even, there's too many people. Jesus. But, okay, speaking about just